What the? Yo, happy Friday. What's going on? I think we're live. I think we're live. What's up? What's up? I think we got the right stream. Happy Friday, everybody. What's up? It's Friday. Hey. Yo. What the heck is up? Is everybody here? I think we're here. Yo, yeah. What's up, Albert, Toby? Yeah, we're in the right stream now. What's up, Cloud? What's up, Jermaine? What's up, Him Diddy? We got Canada in the house. We got people here. We got rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. We got punchy.tv/Anchor, baby. What's up? What the? Okay. Everybody's here. It's working out. What the? Yes, I see the flags. Throw them up. Throw up the flags. Very nice. Well, let me just say hello to everybody. Since you're here, taking it easy on a Friday, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm the American Anchor, baby. And the other stream should be ended, so I think they'll show up. Don't worry. They'll figure it out. Hopping planes, okay? Mid-air transfers, very dangerous stuff. But a pleasure to be here. Okay, happy Friday. You guys had yourselves a nice... that was a nice Fallen State episode. And what else is up? I mean, we're just welcoming the folks, taking it easy, kicking it back here on a Friday, and all that. We are welcoming everybody. So take it easy. Like I said, I'm your host. What's up, Mark Pinocchio? We'll get to the super chats and everything. Buymeacoffee.com/Anchor, baby. Amazing. Okay. Gonna get to all that. Getting ourselves situated. I can't wait to show you this picture. The picture of, we got an amazing image. The image of of the year, maybe. Oh man. I can't wait. Can you guess what it is? It's like, wow, what an image. Okay. I'll give you a hint. Surprise visitor. Okay. It's amazing. Yeah, what's up, Medrano? What's up? How you doing? Hey. Fiorentina. How you doing, John Truck? No diggity. What's up, Thor? How you guys doing? Look, Rumble, I think it's going. Rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. I see you guys, I think. Yeah, happy Friday. Thank you. What's up, Sassfras? Frog Teeth. UFO files? You guys think it's the UFO files? No. This is a better picture. I can't wait to show you. I don't know. I'm not trying to hype it up too much like it's a good thing. It's actually quite a terrible thing. It's actually a terrible picture. It's the JPEG of the year. We're trying to go live on Rumble. It keeps saying nope. It keeps saying error. I bet you if I refresh and refresh. What's up, Tomer? Thank you for liking the stream. Do your civic duty. What are you, an animal? Show some decorum and click the like button. Don't be rude. You're here. You said hello. You're like, we'll see you walking in. Like, that's what you do. That's decorum. Don't act like a critic. Like, oh, I'm a critic. I'm sipping with my pinky up. Entertain me. You know. Okay. Thank you, Josh. How you doing, sir? Happy Friday. McDougal, yeah, you guys like that? That was a good Fallen State epi. And a good question from JLP. I want to mention that actually. Wasn't that an amazing? There was an amazing question from JLP. Thank you. Western values. Click the like button. Don't be rude. You guys find it funny? Ain't it fun? You don't like the Paramore? This is actually in my playlist of songs that let's say gangsters like. I don't want there's a better word. There's a better word. But homies, no, because now you're thinking Mexican.
In the middle of war, sometimes all it takes.
Felt neighbors love white girl, white people music. Neighbors love this. This is in my playlist. This is in my playlist of songs that white music that neighbors love. Okay. They get it. They get it. White girl rocking out. White music that neighbors love. Definitely in the playlist. Okay, so don't hate. What's up with the... I love Paramore, but I don't love Paramore ego. Shout out to the young neighbors. Definitely. How can you not like Paramore? Yeah, thank you, Tactical. Israel first is okay. Israel first is okay. Israel first is okay. Israel first is okay. What, are you surprised that a Jew is Israel first? I want to actually even talk about that a little bit. Let's see if we can get into that. But why does music have to have a color? Tactical Brucey, obviously beyond it, and I appreciate you being enlightened on that. And this is proof. This is proof. Tactical Brucey. We're looking at. You want to see more proof? You want to see more proof? Okay. I mean, like, Kodak Black. What's that one song? I mean, he loves that one song, right? Wait, hold on. See? Somebody, I wanna lose to somebody. Okay, so this is, you're absolutely correct. Music has no color. And we're beyond the color on this show. We are beyond the color. And these neighbors, these young neighbors are beyond the color too, and I appreciate them for that. I'll tell you that much. But okay, where were we? I mean, you're here. We're taking it easy. Ain't it fun? Okay. Being in the real world. Kodak high as a mug. I don't know. Hey. What are you guys up to? Okay, let me see what we can do here. Let's open up the lines. 844-900-2229. Okay, I got to show you this image. I got to show you the JPEG of the year. At least for Europe. It's at least the JPEG of the year for Europe. Let me see here. The JPEG of the year. Music does have a color, actually. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good. People in the chat are saying otherwise, and now I'm like, suddenly, now I'm thinking, actually, yeah. Hold on. There's a conversation here. Music is a cultural language. Music has a temporal place. I've learned a lot about America, geography, okay, culture, people, black people, through their music. Okay, I know about areas in certain cities. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a cultural language, like clothes, you know. It's like the jeans, it's like they didn't just come out of nowhere. It was like Americans. And I hear other things too about it. Oh, okay. Music is a tool of the devil. Okay, so now you guys don't even want to talk about it anymore. You're like, this, I don't, blah, blah, blah. I'm just being hard on you for no reason. For no reason. Let's pull up the lines. 844-900-2229. They're going to be open imminently. But I got to show you this image too. I'm loading it up. Don't worry. Language of Lucifer. Party poopers, more like it. This too is a young neighbor banger. Hold on, we're just doing some stuff here. We're gonna get the lines open imminently. I can't let gang know I F with this. That's the name of the playlist. Okay, lines are open. 844-900-2229. They are in fact open right now. Uh-oh. I think. There it is. Here we go. Start over.
You are connected as the host.
All right, folks. 844-900-2229. Check this out. Check this out, gang. Let's blow this. Let's blow it up. Hold on. Let's save image as to desktop. Double click. All right, feast your eyes. Have you guys seen this one yet? Have you seen this one yet? Let it drop. Ah! You my remedy. Have you seen this one? You my remedy. What? What the F is that? So you wake up. It's 2:30 a.m. Hold on. It's 2:30 a.m. Let's see. Let me just pull this up. Hold on. Hold on. I'm all zoomed in. I can't do anything. Imagine for a moment it's 2:30 a.m. You're awoken in the middle of the night by your security cameras, by your various some methods that maybe we don't know yet. Maybe we'll find out soon. And you go to you're awoken to some noise. You realize there's someone at the door. You're thinking to yourself, at this hour, who could be at the door? When you go down to the door, what greets you, looking through, is a pair of eyes and lips too. It's a big old lips. That's what happened to this woman in the UK. So they calling him a migrant. I don't know where it's a source, bro. Let's not start being insensitive. 2:30 a.m. A woman in the UK saw a migrant staring at her through her door. She called the police, took him to the hospital. They then released him. She asked what she could do if he comes again. The police said, "Call us." Have you seen this?
Yeah, he's just knocking on the door, just making really weird noises, and he's freaking us out.
He's freaking us out.
No, he's just
Crazy.
He won't leave. Yeah, he's just knocking on the door, just making really weird noises, and he's freaking us out.
No. Okay, let me get the. Where did I put the? Grok, help me out. Where'd you put the article over this one? Hold on. KT, I think it was posted by. This video was posted by. Okay, hold on. Yes, GB News. An update from the Post. GB News has informed me that police have confirmed this man has been sectioned under mental health due to legal reasons. His identity is now protected, but he is off the streets. That's great. Unwanted visitor. So they actually might have done something. But isn't that like, what an image, what a sight for the Englishman, for the UK, for immigration, diversity, the West, and how the individual feels, as opposed to like the government and what they're pushing and what like individual voting factions are. Like, I'm a liberal, I care about these people. Well, let's go down to ground zero. How are the folks feeling? It must feel like oppressive walls. Dude. What a freak. I am here. What? I am here for your children. I am here. So definitely a deranged individual, right? And you could say, well, that was just mental health. That's just how this one happens, okay? You don't have to be blaming migrants. Is he on drugs? You know, that's unclear. They're saying GB News is reporting that this person has been admitted in some way, shape, or form for mental health, and that he is off the streets. But what does that matter? How many people get released? Is that something that you could trust? There's no asylums. There's no asylums. There's no place to put them. There's no place to put them here. And it's a good thing to have Second Amendment in the UK. But there you go. That's a good thing to bring up. So the cops will help you. They're like, okay, just call us again if he comes back. You can't protect yourself. You should be able to shoot this guy right through that freaking, and I disavow violence and doing things against the law. I disavow all such things. And you know what? Maybe this case, maybe it's best they did it because apparently he's just like some mental guy. Maybe he doesn't need to die. But I'm just saying, like, the individual, the homeowner, the non, not the law-abiding person. It's just an endless onslaught on reality. What is this? Why is this happen? Why does this exist? Yo! And nothing you can do. And there's nothing you can do. Oh man. And if you do, you're hamstrung. Like you gotta really be thinking about everything you do. This person's not thinking about that. The law does not matter to this person. But you gotta care about that. You'll be like, okay, well, did you hit him in the back? They were turned around when you hit him. That's battery. You're in trouble now. There's like there's that guy, he just wanted to talk about your extended warranty. That's all it was. It was just soliciting. Okay? Just a little annoying. She's teasing him through the... What are you saying there? What do you mean she's I must have missed what she said. She's teasing him through the window? Is that was she? Super satanic. Yeah, there you go. So that's the image. Awoken by a dark figure. Incredible. Nit, what are you listening to? White Tunes for Young Neighbors. You don't know this song? It's a banger and a half. Clarity? What are you talking about? Anyways, thank you, Rumble. Appreciate it. I see you guys now. We got all of you. We got everybody. We'll get to coffees. We'll get to everybody. The oppression, you don't feel like there's nothing they can do. He was just checking on the light bulbs they were using. Excuse me. Are you guys covered? Are you guys insured? I just wanted to make sure that your family was insured. That was right. Yeah. That was just spreading the good word. That's what it was. That's funny. Yeah, they're just spreading the good word. Do you know the good news? Have you heard the good news? I'm just your neighbor, and I'm wondering if you heard the good news. That is so funny. Okay, you know what? Next here on my packet, I was like thinking about woman propaganda, and the interview he just had with Jesse on the phone state. That was pretty good. I didn't know how much he liked Jesse, and he does the silent prayer and stuff. It's pretty interesting. I know he has clipped up Jesse in a big way and really put out his content. And that's pretty cool. Hayden McDougal, he was on Woman Propaganda. He's on with Jesse, the phone state. yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. I'm thinking of one moment in particular about being Israel first and Ben Shapiro and all that. They were getting into dual loyalty and the problems in America and all the people in it that hate it. People in the government that hate it, voting in terrible things, bringing in all the immigrants. So, pretty interesting. And, yeah, they were talking about Ben Shapiro. Okay, so how did it come up? I'm trying to remember. But essentially, he was thinking, Ben Shapiro came up and he was calling out how he considers him pretty much Israel first. And that's like, he lives in America, makes money. And that's, he finds that a little distasteful maybe. Now, Jesse had a great question. It was an interesting question about, essentially, look, he was it was a more extended conversation. Definitely check it out. It was great. Oh yeah, America first. That's how it came up. Yeah. So they were talking about America first and how that's really important. Yes. Okay. I'm not really remembering all of it, but yeah, he's saying how like in America, the people who have influence, the people who, oh yeah. So this is how it came up. Jesse, they go down this line of conversation. Jesse asks him about about whites hating Jews or just, criticizing Jews heavily. Jesse notices how he's drawing a parallel on how blacks have been complaining for years that whites run and own everything and they run their lives that way. They can't have anything because of that. And Jesse's been calling that out for years, and that terrible attitude, which has really just proven itself to be even worse, detrimental to blacks. And if you really think about it, they really haven't. Whoever owns it, like they don't really they really have given up. Like think about it, how they're on Section 8, they're on welfare, there's everything is given to them, but that's a prison. That's a sort of prison. And they did it on purpose. They gave it up. They gave it up willingly. And the whites are doing the same thing. And so that was an interesting line of conversation. And Jesse was asking, like, what do you think about that parallel? And, he has his critics. There's some, they talked about it at length. And he has one criticism that the guest had was essentially about dual loyalty and being America first. He doesn't want people that have influence or in the government that are not America first. And he brought up Ben Shapiro because it came up how Jews are liberal and stuff, but I think woman propaganda was making the point, like, look, here's Ben Shapiro's a conservative, made his money in America, lives in it, but is Israel first, in his opinion, and I don't think he's wrong in that. And Jesse asked him, like, if you moved to America and moved to Israel and got a citizenship in Israel and everything, would you remain America first though? And yeah, essentially, Hayden McDougall, he did respond eventually and just said, yeah, that the answer to that question is yes, he'd be America first, even if he went off to live somewhere else. And then like that, in that question, you can like understand Ben Shapiro and not, because why would you hate him for that, right? And be mad at that. Now I have a separate commentary on that in a moment. But what was so funny about that question is right away, some of the people in the comments in the chat, in the live chat, are like, Rabbi Jesse. And I actually find that so funny. Whenever a really good question that makes you rethink things gets asked, some of you guys, and I love the guys who say Rabbi Jesse, Rabbi Nick sometimes. I love you. I really do. I love some of those guys, so it's no biggie. But it is funny to me because it's like when a good question comes up like that challenges, you want to say whatever. That's just like Jewish magic. It's funny how you devolve. You like quickly become like a primitive superstitious person. You're like, whatever with your Jewish tricks, Rabbi Jesse. And it's just like a really good question. It's like, whatever your mysticism, stop with your magic. You know what I'm saying? I find that so funny. And it's a fantastic question. I thought it was a great question. Wow. It would be one dimensional to I think be mad or surprised or anything about Ben Shapiro, a Jew, being, strongly supporting Israel, if not even Israel first. I think what the thing is about that now, I think it may be a higher order, if I may. Now I'm like, I regret even saying that. What high horse am I on? But like, there's maybe a higher order conversation in terms of the discourse in America. I mean, that is true, and I believe that individuals with their that individuals have ethnic affinities. I think that's absolutely true, and that's why that was such a good question, because you would do the same over there in Israel. It it totally deflates a number of things. There is something to be said about the discourse in America and how, that's kind of like in my opinion, is it's almost an emerging allowed viewpoint, in my opinion. I think Jesse had someone on the Fallen State previously. I think he just called himself a Zionist. And he was very informative. And he was like, I'm Israel first. I want to be straight up. People are saying this or that. I forget how he put it, but he was basically saying that, yeah, I'm a Zionist. I'll always be Israel first no matter what. I just want to be straight up. And that's just being honest, right? And I think what some might take issue with is that that's seemingly just a recently allowed discourse. And now if all of a sudden everybody's just like, all right, right wing, okay, white America, okay, you people, you guys are tripping all with your dual loyalty, always trying to figure out who's the faker. Like, let's not be fake. Of course I'm Israel first, and let's imagine all the races doing that. Like, yeah, let's not pretend. That would only be a recent development, and it's like, wow, that's nice, but now you're all here. And you all hate white America. So, okay, so that's nice that now we get to drop it and now be realists. But, every other country, it seems like all the other nations don't have this insane diversity problem that now we're all like deciding to drop the you know what I mean? Like drop the pretense about. It's like, okay, fine, let's drop the pretense. It's war. It's like, whoa. Okay, so now we really are divided. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my kind of like vibe about it. But as like a realism standpoint, we shouldn't be surprised of Ben Shapiro or even hate him for it. That's maybe a more realistic standpoint. And maybe even for many ethnic, maybe for all sorts of ethnicities, because they have an ethnic like affinity. But my thing, just adding on to it, is just like, as the discourse has played out in America, just if I may repeat myself, it's like, well, it's like, well, let's not pretend like this was always like that. If we're dropping that now, all of a sudden, it's pretty what's the word? It's just, if we're dropping that now, all of a sudden it's like, well, that's great, that's rich. Now with with like all these groups having so much, being coalesced so much, it's like, now that's real convenient and nice. Well, that's great. But anyways, it was a really good question. What was I thinking about that? Yeah, it was a great question. I think he answered honestly. Yeah, he'd be America first in Israel if he was over there. That's just like realistic. But anyways, I can't remember what else I was thinking. What are y'all thinking? I would still be America first, but I also wouldn't constantly crap on the country I lived in, Israel, or wherever. I mean, yeah, now I feel like that would be I don't know, opening that up would be getting into the weeds, because it's like, what are you talking about? What comment? In my mind, Ben Shapiro, it's like, we agree on most things, but yeah, he's like, okay with the browning of America. I heard him say, people really like to play that clip. Others like to really express how much he believes in that. He did say it. He's like, I'm fine with the browning of America. That was a long time ago. Others love to say how much he believes into that, but, you know, he did say it. So, like, I feel like we'd be getting into the weeds, right? Like, oh, I wouldn't constantly crap. Is he constantly crapping on America? You know, and it gets to the heart of what they were talking about. If what's wrong with whites that they let their Christian country go and let others own it, whether Jewish or otherwise? What's wrong with blacks that you could say, and this is not me at all saying, see, Nick, finally you're starting to see it our way. We are oppressed. They did take stuff from us. In a certain way, you could say, yeah, whites own all your stuff. Think about it. You don't own anything. It's all the government. It's Section 8. It's all given to you by white people. It's like they own you in a sense, right? If you wanted to have this like victim. Let's just use that language for a moment to paint a picture. I just don't believe in being a victim like that, right? But why do they own everything? Because you gave it to them. You believed in racism. You believed in the civil rights movement, and and you gave up all control to them. Been voting the same way ever since. You don't have your own voice. You know what I'm saying? Like, your vote means nothing. They know you're gonna go always Democrat. So yeah, in a sense, white people own all your stuff. You don't have your own families, your own businesses, your own neighborhoods. It's all someone else's decision. Someone else decides what happens in your neighborhood, whatever. And that's not me saying racism exists. You understand? I'm saying that, like, that's you gave it up. You gave it up. You become cattle, and you let it happen. The victim mindset. Whites are doing the same thing. That's what Jesse was bringing up. That was really cool. Why do you think they took over the media, you dumbass? Am I saying they didn't? I'm saying if they did, you gave it up. That's like the whole important part of it. And it's ghetto to be like, that's they wrote about it in the Bible. You will let foreigners in and they'll have more and more power over you, and then they'll have plenty of money to lend, and you'll have nothing, and you'll just be complaining all day. They wrote about that in the Bible. They said that would happen, and it's happening. Do you want to be the complaining people that's happening to? You know what I'm saying? No, it's just like, you're just like, I don't know, man. That's some rabbi magic, bro. How about enough of your magic? Is this making sense? It's just like, I don't know. I'm staying away from this guy's magic. He's doing magic, and that's demonic. Let me say a bunch of words to make myself feel better. You know, I could pick a bunch of prayers at that moment. Let's see, who do I want to offend? I can say, Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Right? Let me say a bunch of words. Stop with your mysticism, with your magic. Um, but we didn't give it up. We provided an equal opportunity, and parasites coalesced against the greater good. No, have you met older white people? They used to advocate for themselves, and they lost the civil rights movement. Basically, the women basically won, and the beta males. But look, white people used to advocate for themselves. They were tough. So no, that's not true. I don't believe that personally. That characterization, in my opinion. Like that's true about like racism and what they taught us. You know, I grew up like that. I'm like, I mean, we're cool. You know, wow, this is a terrible thing in history. Glad that's over. Kumbaya, right? They didn't mean it. But the whites I'm thinking of would have knew that. The whites I'm thinking of knew that, and they knew how to discern like a person who's a faker who's just trying to take. That's more of my impression and characterization of America and Americans. But that was woman propaganda. That was it. That was that. That was good. That was good. What are you talking about? Amazing. What's up, Jim? What's up? What's up, everybody? Okay. How you doing, Birdie Bound Brian? What are you guys say? What do you guys say? All right, okay. Let's see. What do you guys say? I was just checking out the earlier chats. What's up, Zenny? Yeah, the boomers were born into their world. Oh. Yeah, because a bunch of them fell for that too. Is that what you're saying? Like racism and all that? What's up, Jermaine? But anyways, where were we? You know, maybe a stone's throw, thematic in a way, and proof of what I was saying. All the criticisms that we can have about dogs, dog owners, okay, been pioneers for that. People, you know, it's like, whoa. Controversial take and all that. They are, however, a staple of suburban life in many of the Western countries, city life even, but you know it. White people like their dogs, and merely a whole bunch of people like their dogs. There is slight differences in maybe culture on how like different ethnic families might have their dogs, but essentially they all kind of fall under like an Americanized ideal life. You got your dog, you got your this, you got your that. You're walking him around. You walk your dog around. There has to be some semblance of safety to do all that. There's a number of things that culturally go together with having a dog, walking a dog, being in a neighborhood like that. The type of people. And of course it has its history. The English countryside. Rearing up dogs for different even different purposes. Bird hunting or otherwise. And I was telling you about how the English countryside, the government is specifically, they've moved to diversify that. They've diversified London in the cities. They're saying and I showed you how the leadership they set out to change the laws because, and they were saying this openly, that the cities are nice and diverse, but the countryside is not. And that's got to change. So they're starting to put all the migrants in there, right? They're starting to cart them in there. But there's an issue. These Muslims don't like dogs. The English countryside's full of them, right? The white folks with their dogs. And the government has decided that the white people have to change. The English, and everybody besides the whites that are on this side, you're on that side, okay? You better believe it if you love your country and you love your dog, okay? Time to wake up. And the government has decided that those people have to change. I'm seeing a few videos. Here's just one. Allegedly of a woman in the UK being told that her dog might be offensive, is possibly offensive because nearby groups might dislike it. UK woman stopped by police saying it could offend the local Muslim population. They ordered her off the street.
Police appeasing the leftists again. Yeah, appeasing the communist leftists again. I'm not a Nazi.
That's
for saying I don't want to be called a Nazi. You shouldn't be allowed.
Wait, we're trying to get the words here right, because that's what they write in the captions. And from what I gather, there was some sort of gathering. There's some sort of could even be like a Muslim a demonstration. It's some demonstration of sorts. So there's always some little. It seems like the government always seems to operate like this too. There's always some sliver of justification. No. We didn't tell her that she has to get off the street because her dog will offend Muslims just randomly. No. We're telling her to get off the street because they're demonstrating here and they're Muslims. Now, this is all details I don't really know. But you'll notice the government always operates like this. Oh, no. She just doesn't have a right to offend these Muslims who are gathering here or whatever. All of that does not matter. Now, let's actually listen here. Dog walker gets told to move from her own street.
Police appeasing the leftists again. Yeah, appeasing the communist leftists again.
I'm not a Nazi. Blocking you from moving forward to breach of the peace. What, just for saying I don't want to be called a Nazi?
I don't want to be called a Nazi? Is that what she's saying?
It's a control tactic, so you can't say or do anything.
Just keep on going round.
To protect the leftists scum.
Absolutely.
What do you mean, move off? How pathetic are you?
From the British, we love you.
You're not going that way. Excuse me. Guys, two of you, please. Two of you, straight away.
You're not going that way.
Stand back. super
And now they're all mobilised.
Lots of offensive
As usual.
to do with being a Nazi. It's got nothing to do with being anyone. You just don't want to pay for you to live in there.
The dog knows. Good doggy.
Why? Why is that awful? What do you mean that's not right? They've done nothing wrong.
I've done nothing wrong. It's hard to make out what they're saying. You know, it's like they're saying the caption's pretty clear, saying that the police removed her because it could offend the Muslim population. Let's try and confirm that. Let's.
Shouting, that guy is shouting on a megaphone, Nazi in my face. And
She's not happy that obviously there's a demonstration. She's being shouted at as a Nazi. She's not happy about it.
telling people not to be insulted that they're being called Nazis.
Yeah, of course you are, mate. Yeah,
Do you
stay
understand
behind.
what a Nazi is?
All right.
Because that's really offensive. Yeah. When you're letting them stand there and shout
You can stand where you want, film what you want.
at Altrincham residents in order to what?
How are you? All right.
Because we're upset our taxpayers' money's going on funding Afghans.
Where else would you rather be on a Sunday night?
Nazis. God, you're the Nazis for actually standing there watching them shout that.
No, I mean,
Are they allowed to shout Nazis? Am I allowed to go over to someone's face and shout Nazi? No, I'm not, am I? So why are you stood there watching them shout it?
The reason why we've actually got out is because the boss has already
You're
explained
useless.
that you can't want to.
You're useless. You stood there letting people shout out obscenities like that.
and then they attempt to arrest you.
How embarrassing is that? Where's your stones?
We haven't made any attempts to arrest her.
You've got 1, 2, 3. She's been dragging me around the corner because you don't want to shout Nazi in your face. You don't want to be called a Nazi in my own street.
In my own street, I mean, she's still about the Nazi
Isn't
thing.
it? I don't want Afghan men in the centre of Altrincham. They think a 9-year-old girl can get married.
Oh, she's like, I don't want Afghan men. She is a Nazi. No.
I don't want Afghan men in the centre of Altrincham. They think a 9-year-old girl can get married. Don't want to. Don't want to. That doesn't mean you're Nazi.
The captions may have been making stuff up. You know, about the countryside, we reported on that. That is true. This video, though, sounds like it could be, you know, unless we could get every word. It sounds like it could just be, you know, there's a demonstration here. And, yeah, you just got to go because they, like, keep shouting at you. They don't seem to like you. So that's a problem. So, you know, you can't go down that way. Which is like a regular cop thing to do, but, you know, it's more of the bigger picture. You know, what are they even protesting? I mean, do they want Afghan men or something? Are they insane? But, you know, the minutia of this particular conflict, you know, I can't really say. Walking dogs is offensive. Now, we did report on that. That was a real article, but like I said, the minutia of this one, I can't really know. You want to know about the minutia of this one, though? You're getting a haircut. You're a barber. You cut hair. You have a shop, and you cut hair. But because you failed, you in some way you failed, that in a way that's still unclear. Some way you failed your client, one such customer who walked in, and they were left in a mental health spiraling about their own gender identity. You know, ping-ponging between the realities of girl haircuts and boy haircuts, and, you know, you actually get compensated through the government fines you as the barber for causing such distress.
In 2023, Alex Frédéric Mignon tried to schedule a haircut at Station 10, a small hair salon that charges by the minute.
Station 10. I've never heard of that.
Seemed great because they charge based on the time that it takes to do the cut and not based on the gender of the person.
Alex identifies as non-binary and was disappointed to find that during the booking process, they were still asked to select between a men's or women's cut. They sent an email asking for accommodation and say they were told to just select one or the other.
It is not fair and it's not legal to tell me, no, since you don't fit into my worldview, I don't want to do anything with you, and I don't want you as my customer.
Sacre
Alexis
bleu.
Lebrec is a co-owner of the
Alexis Lebrec de Station D. Sacre bleu.
salon. He says the policy has nothing to do with ideology. He says because the business model is low cost, high volume, they only take bookings online and ask for their customers' gender to help with scheduling.
Typically takes longer for a woman's haircut than a man's haircut, so we optimize our agendas accordingly.
What a business! What a business! Have you ever heard of this creative business model in the haircutting world? I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't trust that. You know, just give me a good haircut. Like you're getting by the minute. Well, I guess actually they would try and maybe push it, take longer. We're getting paid by the minute.
We also get.
I don't need it to be fast. I just need to be good. Not gonna like take forever, right? Just take as long as you should as a professional.
Statistics for marketing.
But for Alex, the lack of accommodation had a major impact.
Alex.
I was already spiraling into a huge mental health crisis.
Spiraling.
And it precipitated my fall into complete disability. I was unable to work for a year and a half.
Wow, you hear this? This is what you're paying for. This is what you're paying for. You know that it's far like it's the people who with actual disability, actual needs, actual is like a fraction. This is what you're actually paying for. Do you know how many? Have you ever watched that show? That guy Caleb Hammer. He has that YouTube show and he brings in people and he audits their life and what they're spending on and how they're messing up their lives, and they're just dumb and they don't want to save money. They actually they love their hell. And so Caleb, he brings them on just to yell at them, like, "What are you spending on it?" It's like, oopsies. It's great. Every veteran on that show, if you've ever watched it, every single veteran, so-called veteran, even if they've just spent, they all call themselves veterans, even if they saw no action, even if they were a janitor, they get unlimited disability. We're talking 50 to 80K a year, just for free. Their whole lives. Every single person who's been on that show has been on disability. That's what we're paying for. Taxes and all that, and all these programs, whatever. It's this guy here is like, they misgendered me. I had to pick between a male or a female haircut, and I was spiraling and left me out of work for a whole year, and I had to be on disability, and the taxpayer, they paid for my poppers, they're paying for my poppers, the poppers. I need them. I need the poppers for my mental health, for the proper stimulation, so that I can, homosexualism.
Had a major impact.
I was already spiraling into a huge mental health crisis, and it precipitated my fall into complete disability. I was unable to work for a year and a half.
Alex filed a complaint with the Human Rights Commission, which recommended a $500 settlement. Lebrec refused to pay, so Alex sued for $12,000.
And we fought back because we didn't agree with the prejudice that we might have caused.
Lebrec says a few months after receiving the initial complaint, the salon updated its website to include a gender-neutral booking option. Earlier this month, the courts agreed with the Human Rights Commission and ordered Station 10 to pay $500.
And that's the kicker. And that is the kicker. We can have our fun here. We wish Alex well. But the kicker is the courts sided with Alex.
Neutral booking option. Earlier this month, the courts agreed with the Human Rights Commission and ordered Station 10 to pay $500 in damages.
It's clearly a precedent. The amount we have to pay is relatively small compared to the precedent it creates for legal debates in Quebec.
For Alex, who also made headlines in 2023 for a hunger strike to try to force RAMQ to provide a gender-neutral option on the health insurance card, the precedent alone is a win.
It was discrimination, and non-binary people should not be forced to pick between men and women if they don't want to identify as such.
They say it may seem like a small inconvenience to some, but to them, it's about being able to participate in society. Matt Gilmore.
Yeah, the court sided with the offended.
In 2023, Alex Frédéric Mignon tried to schedule a
and that's why it was $500.
A small
it's
hair
like, okay,
salon that charges
we're
by
just
the minute.
going to topple down a pillar of reality and reason. But don't worry, it'll only be $500, right? So don't scream and shout too much. We're going to just topple down another load-bearing wall of just basic reason. But we'll do it, but it's just $500, okay? What are you crying about? It's like, I guess it's just $500. Okay, well, I'll just pay $500. Okay. All right, bring it in. Beep, beep. Bulldozed, load-bearing wall. Just gone. Just, Now whatever. Now it's like, who's the next insane? Who's the next deranged? Alex. To say, hey, Q, the letter Q bothers me in Quebec and it caused me to, I don't know, spiral. Give me money. Like, anyways. The courts sided with the human rights. What the? I was out of work. How do you say non-binary en français? I don't know. Non. What's a binary in French? Binaire. I knew that. Non-binaire. I bet you that's how you pronounce that. Let's find out. Like a binary number. Like that's what I want to know. Binaire.
Binaire.
Binaire. Le numéro 1 et 0 sont les numéros qui tu utilises quand tu as communiqué dans une langue binaire comme un computer, right? Or is ordinateur desk or computer? Computer in French. Yeah, ordinateur. See, if you were come to, how do you say if? How do you say if? I'm fritzing out. Anyways, binary. Non-binaire is what you'd probably say. But they probably don't say they non-binaire. I bet you the French, this language is its own thing. Like, they probably say, let me think. Like, they probably say whatever the English people say. Like, oh, I'm trans, instead of like transgender. Anyways, they say ma'am. It must be difficult for the French and in any of these languages with male and female. What do you do? I mean, I know that's an old thing, right? Latinx. I never really explored that though. That's as far as I ever explored that. Like, that's how mainstream that was. But I never really, I'm sure that many have already made jokes about it, maybe explored such a concept. What are the transgenders? How are they handling the romantic languages, right? Male, masculine, feminine, all those words. Those languages they center around masculine and feminine in the language, like, Latino, Latina. So we all remember Latinx. Yeah, yuck, dumb trannies, right? Oh, you're so dumb. I've never followed the discourse, and I don't mean that, by the way. Shout out to you, transgenders, who we love you as well. And that is simply not to be hated. That's all I mean. That being said, because that's what they say, right? It's like the you dumb trans people, like you weren't ready for the masculine and feminine. It's like, the trans discourse, I think that's was not that played out. It's just we don't talk about it so much here. Plenty been said. But they must be having issues with it, I'm sure. Masculine, feminine. But why were we talking about that? Huh? We're talking about Canada. That's right.
Well, he didn't have a supportive wife. The GP told me, but he didn't have a support.
We know that angry family members are our greatest risk. Dr. Ellen Wybe, who has personally euthanized over 400 patients. Personally euthanized. I wonder if that's true. The New Atlantis is reporting that. But that's crazy, Because I was thinking when they have that headline that she kills like 400 people, I'm thinking, maybe her and like a team or something. But I bet you, if that's actually, if what they're saying is true, then maybe she personally, I was thinking it was just like a general thing. Like she just was the like leader. She was just like the, the overseer of the hospital or something like that. So her name has to go on there or something. A technicality of sorts. The New Atlantis is saying she's personally euthanized over 400. What the?
But,
How do you call that medicine? This is medical practice. I'm a doctor. But,
he didn't have a supportive wife. The GP told me that she hadn't wanted him at home to take care of because she didn't want him in the house, and that she never came to the care home to see him. But when she found out he was going to have an assisted death, she was furious. And the care home, it was their first one, and they were really scared. And when I arrived on the day, his dog was snuggled up beside him in his bed, and his father was beside him. And his father said, I was here at the beginning, and I'm here at the end. It was a beautiful death. But the wife made formal complaints against me because she felt that he hadn't been assessed correctly. I was cleared of all wrongdoing, but we know that angry family members are our greatest risk.
Yo. LOL. LOL. It's one thing about this business is you're gonna make family members mad. Get ready. One thing I hate about this job. What's the worst thing about this job? When those family members, oh my gosh, so annoying. They're like, why did you? They're like, get this. They're like, get this. why did you kill my family member? Like, oh, so annoying. I swear it's like the worst. That's funny for yucks. That might be a bit of like unfair characterization. Yeah, even for Ellen Wybe. Yeah, a killer of 400. That just yesterday I was saying like, hey, I swear it's only women who could be this like this could sanction such a sanitized version of industrialized death. Like only women, right? Just look at abortion. Only women would be just so easily justify this. and a mama would see this as good, like, right? But even for Ellen Wybe, you can mischaracterize, right? You know, like, how do I say this? I think the problem with this is just bad medicine. I'm not a doctor, but it's like, I don't think I have to be to know that like killing these people off is not medicine. They're generally fine, even if they got like an eye that doesn't work or a leg that doesn't work, and they're depressed. That's not really a good reason to kill them. That their body is fine. Okay, let God handle their spirit. You're not God. Just their body's fine. You're wherever your authority lies. It's so on that stance, I say it's like malpractice, But how do I say it? Like those family members? There's something probably funny about that. She was just describing family members who like never came to see this person, but all of a sudden when they wanted to die, they're like, "Why are you killing my family member?" Like, I bet you so much fake, phony emotion is happening there, and this woman sees it, and she's just become this cold, like and not where such an utterance, where we can like now clip it and make it terrible. So you could be like, yeah, the worst thing about this job is when those family members get mad at you. But, the sick part of it all is that she's maybe looking at these people and, like, getting jaded, like, and seeing the absolute phoniness of these people, and then just digging her heels in more. Like, I'm right. I'm a doctor. These people are picking them. They want to die. This is good. They're depressed. Is there no scrutiny? You've killed 400 people. How many of those people were fine and just depressed, and maybe like another thing that was you couldn't fix, not necessarily a reason to kill them? But that's what you've seen. I've shown you multiple cases now where ostensibly, as far as you could say, was they were depressed and maybe they had like another issue like diabetes or an eye that didn't work. It's not a reason to die. I don't see any doctor or medical reason to be like, yep, this is the medical solution to this is to kill you. Time to die. Like, what? So you see the egos at play? Oh, man.
Most of the MAID is provided by people like me who've become specialists in MAID. And we've had 3 studies published about what the experience was like for people who are providing MAID, and most of whom, as I said, are people for whom MAID has become a large portion of their medical work. And they say the same thing as I do. It's the most rewarding work we've ever done. Most of the MAID is provided by people like me who've become specialists in MAID. And we've had...
Who are you trying to convince? I guess maybe she is trying to convince the public, right? They don't like it. Like, I don't know. Government sanctioned, just the medical solutions to people's problems, death. People are uncomfortable with it. I guess she is trying to prove it to people. But that comment to me, I don't know, that comment is just ringing in my head a little bit. Everyone, you know what? Anybody who's asking us, it's the most rewarding work, okay? So if you even wondering for a second, like maybe I'm like making this up. It's just ringing in my head. It's just, who are you trying to convince? you know, doctors, when you say it's like a pediatrician, you know, like, they don't always, maybe if you ask them, they'll say, yeah, this is very rewarding work. But do they have to even convince you of that? Do they even have to say that? Is that something? And I guess pediatrician is not even like my perfect example. I guess maybe for others, because it's like, oh, the children. But think about it like this: just helping, just like being a doctor, just like a surgeon, a trauma surgeon. It's like, yeah, I stitch people up and I save their lives. It's like, do you have to convince anyone of that? No. This is really rewarding. I swear, this is really rewarding. I'm rewarded. Everybody who kills someone is rewarded. We inject them and we smile. We are rewarded.
Published about what the experience was like for people who are providing MAID, and most of whom, as I said, are people for whom MAID has become a large portion of their medical work. And they say the same thing as I do. It's the most rewarding work we've ever done.
She closes her eyes and she's like, it's so rewarding.
Most of the MAID is provided by people like me who've become specialists in MAID. And we've had 3 studies published about what the experience was like for people who are providing MAID, and most of whom, as I said, are people for whom MAID has become a large portion of their medical work. And they say the same thing as I do. It's the most rewarding work we've ever done.
We already saw this. Yeah. Strange flex, but okay. Weird flex, but okay. Yeah, I just don't. It just doesn't seem like medicine. Call it like conservative and not progressive. Like, hey, I don't know if we should move so quick on those things. You know, our old society thinkings of these kinds of things. It's like, no, God, life is sacred. God, you know, exists and made us. You know, maybe I'll stick to that. You know, these are things that come up, and I can understand that knee-jerk reaction. And I'm with it, honestly, mostly. Like, it doesn't seem like medicine. Is this more of that? Is this more of that modern medicine? You know what else they call medicine? And like she was saying, this is I talk to others where MAID has become the majority or the whatever, the majority of their medical practice. You know, they call it medical practice. They call abortion reproductive health. So is this more of that? Like, I'm definitely more conservative on that, for sure. One little thought. Call it. Maybe this is how you know, Satan's foothold. Maybe a thought. I do have a novel thought about it, though, sometimes, about suicide and those. Yeah. You know what? I quickly think it, and then I don't. But you guys remember the suicide booths in Futurama?
Kill me, please, and make it splatter. With pleasure, Bender. Lynn? Baller? What?
You know, they're in the far future. You know, there's booths and just around, kind of like phone booths. They're just like around. You don't want to exist anymore. You don't want to exist anymore. Just you know, throw a little coin in one of these booths. Just end it. Yeah, I don't know if that's the kind of. What was I thinking? I was just thinking about like people who don't want to live, and they're like just so done. And Well, anyways, I was just thinking about, because I see some of your chats too. Some of you guys are talking about it now. Like, those people have already died. Like, they've given themselves up. Why save them? Okay, no, we don't save them. You don't try and save people. You don't try and, like, a lot of people doing that are like, their motivation isn't even really dying sometimes. Sometimes it's attention. It's a funny thing. Our motivations are sometimes hidden to ourselves, unless we, like, examine it even just a little bit. So no, you don't save people. You leave them in their hell, and if they want to die, so be it. It's to a degree, like, but you don't play God. Yeah, Taylor got it. You're the government. You don't just start putting suicide booths. You don't accommodate their lazy ass either, says Francisco. Exactly. The government is doing both. Let's kill them when it's like, wow, we can't pay for it. Let's try and give them all this stuff. That's not working. Okay, just kill them off. Wow, this is saving us. Have you seen these articles on Made and how much money it's saving Canada? It's sick. And the government's doing both. Trying to take care of their lazy A, or it's like they want to die. It's like playing God. It's like crazy. But yeah. So, anyways. The Bible says to point to the water, not to the grave. Oh, never heard that one. I've literally never heard that one.
You know what I love? Hitting add to cart. A Domino's pizza with my 2 favorite toppings. Add it. Those fluffy little garlic bread bites and warm chocolate lava cakes don't tempt me. Because with Domino's mix and match deal, I could get everything I want for just $6.99 each. So
point to the water. Cool. Okay, let's see here. Yeah. Chainsaw comes out. It's not exactly the nicest either. It looks pretty painful. the Futurama suicide booths. Yeah. Then like needles and like chainsaws and like a circular saw comes out. It's like, can it be instant, please? It's the year 3000. Can we figure it out? Figure it out, buddy. What are y'all saying? That Martha Stewart clip banger was going around again. I don't know if you've seen it. This was from like a while ago. No, not even that long ago, actually. Grok is telling me 2024, a Netflix documentary. But I've been seeing it every now and again ever since. But this one went around again, and when it goes around again, it gets millions of views. It's just posted today. Oh no, this was yesterday. This Martha Stewart banger, you know. I don't know if you remember this when it was going around. She was being interviewed about her cheating husband. And ladies, you just you know how it is, ladies. You get treated terrible. Just leave them.
He was not satisfied at home. I don't know how many different girlfriends he had during this time, but I think there were quite a few. Young women, listen to my advice. If you're married and you think you're happily married and your husband starts to cheat on you, he's a piece of shit. And look at him as a piece of shit and get out of it. Get out of that marriage. But I couldn't do that. Couldn't walk away.
Didn't you have an affair early on in the relationship, or when you were a
yeah, but I don't think Andy ever knew about that.
He did say he knew about it.
He did?
Yes, you would confess to him.
Oh.
He says he didn't stray from the marriage until you told him you had already strayed.
Oh, that's not true. I don't think.
What happened? You had an affair.
I had a very brief affair with a very attractive Irish man. And it was just nothing.
Classic. I want to hear Andy's side. Nah, I don't really care. But the banger, it's just funny. It's too classic. Human nature. Everybody loves to rewrite history, but the ladies especially, because they have a problem saying they're wrong. A big one. Like Adam and Eve big. But yeah, everybody loves to rewrite history. Okay? And it's never how you say it, never how you think. No, that's why that's why you can't listen to people. Definitely not women. Believe all women, because that's what they push, right? They push you got to really believe them. Like nobody says that about everybody else. But that's why you can't believe your mama. What she tells you about your daddy. Or anybody, man. You can't believe people because they rewrite history. And women, especially when you can't say you're wrong. This woman literally cheated first. She had to say very attractive Irish man. Yeah. No, ladies. And that's actually not always true to leave your cheating man. It depends. It depends. If he's cheating on you, if your husband starts to cheat on you, he is a piece of ish, and you have to leave him. That's the equation she gave you. I'd say no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. I'd say not necessarily. Okay, or in that order. Maybe some of those things. Maybe none of those things. Okay. I'd say not always Martha Stewart. Okay. Like what about if you are Martha Stewart? What? Hold on.
Do you want free internet forever? Yeah, we thought so. That's why Spectrum is giving you just that. Free fiber-powered internet
What? Where is... Am I buffering for you guys? I don't think I may have buffered just a little moment there, but I think it should be solid. I think it should be solid now. No. No yawning on the job. Yeah, what the? That's the first yawn I've seen in 10 years of watching. What? I messed up.
You mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And you're a principal, you have LGBT students in your school, and we also know that they're not receiving sex education for queer kids. We know that prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids. You mentioned the PACs.
What? Age verification required for websites harmful to minors. Enforcement by the Minnesota Attorney General provided. Private right of action created. House File 1434. You've got, I believe, this person is Lee Finke, Minnesota Congressman. Lee Finke, Finicky. Minnesota Congressman. Apparently.
Jubilant about being able.
Help me understand what you're saying here. Hold on.
And the AGs in many states are very clear about that. They're almost jubilant about being able to use these laws to ban young people from accessing content that could be educational if they are queer. And you're a principal, you have LGBT students.
Porno. You're talking about porno, right? Educational adult content that needs age verification. I mean,
in your school.
You're talking about porno, right?
And you're a principal, you have LGBT students in your school, and we also know that they're not receiving sex education for queer kids. We know that prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids.
So what you're saying is people are not accessing this age protected adult content, and for that, and many are wondering, and you're connecting that to there being less trans people?
You mentioned know that they're not receiving sex education in your school.
Right? The content that's about to be put behind age verification, this person believes it's educational. They criticize The lack of sexual education at the school.
Principal, you have LGBT students in your school.
The lack of queer education.
And we also know that they're not receiving sex education.
They're not receiving queer sex education.
For queer kids. We know that prurient in
Prurient, having or encouraging an excessive or inappropriate interest in sexual matters, especially the sexual activities and intimate affairs of others.
Prurient.
So like stay out of my sexual business. You're so prurient. Why are you so focused on talking about inappropriate sexual things? Who's the prurient one here? The public or this person? Oh, help me understand. So prurient interest.
Prurient interest could be, for many people, the very existence of transgender kids. More and more people are saying there simply are no transgender kids.
So what you're saying is let them watch porno because there's not enough trans kids. I'm wondering where they are, and they're probably not watching the porno. And we need to be educating them with the porno, because where are all the trans kids? Am I understanding this correctly? So what you're saying is we need more trans kids. Let's let them watch the porno. That's what he's saying, right? Or am I missing it? Interesting. Please face the other way. I don't want to say that. Look, they just can't look. They just keep them out of the government, okay? Just keep them out of the government. You know, that's really all you got to do. You know, I know that you're just joking, but in these times, and with a platform, as they say, I have a responsibility, and I mean it. No, I don't. I disavow violence.
You mentioned the Paxton case, and the AGs in many states are.
But anyways, that's what this person's saying, right? Queer kids need to access adult websites for educational purposes. Yes. But like on top of that, that's what this person said, right? They're like, there's no where are they? Like they're obviously not getting educated with the porno. So we need to, they need to watch the porno because we need more trans people. What are you saying? Like the porno makes trans people like, it's a psychosexual hormonal like mess. You start nuking these kids with like the stuff that's online, hormonal, looking for love, right? Kind of separate. Maybe not like making friends normally. Feels like an outcast. Boom. I'm trans. And then the like Clockwork Orange level conditioning that modern content is. All content, including that stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Jaffiel. But I think he just said that's how you make more trans people. Hello. In the government. Like he said that in 4K. Please, someone tell me I'm wrong if I'm wrong. I'm barely monolingual. Okay. You know what I'm talking about, Mark. Amazing. Nick, please check the story of a former school trustee in British Columbia who was just fined $750,000 for stating there are only two genders. Oh, I think I heard of this guy. May I heard of this guy. How does that make any sense?
Hi there, Dallas Brody here. Wanted to let you know about another insane situation that's developed in BC. Barry Neufeld, who's a former trustee of the Chilliwack School Board, was found guilty today of not believing in transgenderism, and he has been fined, get ready, $750,000 for saying that he doesn't believe that there are more than two genders. Can you believe this? The tribunal found that he was guilty of existential denialism, and that's what it came down to. So this poor guy, $750,000. These human rights tribunals are out of control.
Hold on, I'll be right back. What the? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I gotta go in a little bit here. Apologies for that. Thank you so much. Thormo says, what do all the trans dudes have in common appearance-wise? I think the leading answer is Adam's apples. I'm gonna say Adam's apples for 500. Thormode. Thank you for that.
Just to be a kid once again.
Yeah, sorry about that. I gotta go in a sec. But amazing.
If you're an admin business.
Thank you for that, Thormo. Thank you. Hey, let me see here. Someone always with those coffees. Amazing. Just trying to pull it up here. Hold on. Amazing. Thank you, someone. Thank you, Thormo. That was actually back to back. Incredible. Appreciate the support, y'all.
Rest in peace, my granny. She got hit by a bazooka.
You guys say it's tacos? It's not tacos. I wish there was food. Thank you, Birdie Bound Brian, man. I appreciate the support, everybody. Regrettably, I gotta run actually. But I got a perfect master assassin Jeffrey Epstein level hitman run for you guys, okay? Thank you, everybody. Hope your Friday was awesome. I'll see you again. Church on Sunday with Jesse. rebuildingtheman.com/church. Appreciate it.
Homicide when I think about you. If you was I, nigga, what would you do? Rest in peace, my granny, she got hit by a bazooka. Yeah, I think about it every time I hit the hookah. Kaboom, kablow, kaboom. I was in my room trying to teach my little sister. Then I heard a boom and it sounded like a missile.